Welcome to the game. I'm Russ Cohen. We've got Nikco Riesgo. Nikco, how are you?
Russ Cohen, my man.
So, what are you up to right now, Nikco? What are you doing?
Well, I just got off the set. I'm on a show here on HBO Max, The Pit. It's out right now. What a wild and crazy show. Every second of the day is like an episode. And it's like tick, 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 24, emergency, chaos, blood all over the place, people running through the hospital. And I get to play a doctor, and I get to save the day.
That's cool. And we have Mike Augello. Mike, I don't think you're going to save the day, but how are you anyhow?
I'm sitting in my basement.
Yeah, there you go. You're not saving anybody. And I'm in Pittsburgh. That's the ironic thing. Nico's on a show about Pittsburgh. He's not in Pittsburgh. I am. Okay. We'll get past all that. Uh, it's just the weirdness of life. So, Juan Soto's a Met. We'll start with that. Nikco, $765 million later, $51 million annual salary. Can he actually live up to the expectations of that?
I say no, but I want to say yes. I want to say yes so bad. The Mets need him so bad. The Mets need the same thing the Yankees got. And with that little bit, they were almost there last
Right.
year, the way they came on. So, yeah, they're going to be there right there again. It's going to be an awesome year, and it's going to be a grind. And we still have one more player to get. I guess we can't get him now. He just announced today he's not going to go with the Mets. Rocky Sasaki, man, what
Yeah,
a pitcher
Roy
he is.
Sasaki. He's going to the Dodgers. We're not even going
Yeah,
to talk about him on this episode because we know he's going to the Dodgers.
yeah.
Mike, what do you think about the Soto signing? Your team loses him, my team gets him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Sasaki's going to the Dodgers. He's going to the West Coast. That's clear. Um, well, the thing is, I sort of expected it when, like, right after the loss in the World Series, a reporter asked him about, the season and
Yeah, yeah.
all and everything, and he's like, basically, it was like, well, it's open season.
I'm a
Like there
free
was,
agent. Yeah, he
I'm a free
practically
agent.
screamed it. I know.
Right, and okay, we knew he was a mercenary. We knew, he enjoyed his year with the Yankees, but he was going to go to the highest bidder, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not bitter at it because I think he had a great year with the Yankees. Do I think the Mets overspent? Oh yes, not because he's a great player. He's a great hitter. Is he a Gold Glove caliber outfielder like the writers?
No,
Uh, that was asinine because he wasn't even the best outfielder on his team,
right.
let alone one of the best outfielders in baseball. But he's a phenomenal hitter, and I mean, he's not going to have the impact that he had in the lefty-friendly Yankee Stadium. But he's going to definitely help the Mets. But Russ, you and I have had this discussion. It's almost like this was Steve Cohen's baby,
Yeah.
and he went out and he spent the big money, and now it's like, okay, David, here's the rest of your team, and he's acting like right now it's the Milwaukee Brewers. They're not going out and spending money on Alonso. They're not going out and spending money on anything else. And if all your ad was Juan Soto, I don't think that's enough to win a World Series.
No, I don't either. I still think there's one more shoe to drop. I think they'll add one more big salary, but it is going to be Alonso or Alex Bregman. And I think Bregman is patiently waiting for the Mets to just say, all right, we're not going to get Pete and you're our guy. And I think that's the way it's going to go. I don't know when this is going to happen. I think Stearns unfairly, I'm going to say unfairly to Pete, just was like, hey, here's 3 years, 90 million. This is our deal. And, you know, that may be market value, but Pete's worth a lot more to the Mets. He puts fans in the stands. He beat his Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, the Mets don't beat the Milwaukee Brewers without Pete. They didn't beat the Milwaukee Brewers because of David Stearns. So I think he's making a mistake there. But if they bring in
Well,
Bregman, then Vientos will be the first baseman, and that's that.
Well, the mistake being made here, and of course, he has the luxury of making the same mistake over and over because players stupidly go to him sometimes, is Scott Boras. Because last year, he
Right.
cost Snell, he cost um, the outfielder, he cost Matt Chapman. Um,
Montgomery.
And he's cost him Pete too. And he's cost him
and,
Pete
and,
too
and,
because Pete had that
and,
offer for the Mets for like 180 million, and he ain't getting it.
and that and that's the point. Now he comes out apparently a couple days ago and says, well, we want a 9-year deal, or we want a
Yeah,
6-year,
yeah,
at least
yeah,
a 6-year deal. I mean, get your head out of your ass. I mean, I know you're
yeah.
an agent and your job is to ask for as much money as possible, but read the market, Scott. Right now for first baseman, no one's getting a 6-year deal. After Freddie
Right.
Freeman, no one is getting a 6-year deal. So he's not reading the landscape, and I think he's going to cost Alonso millions of dollars.
Yeah, I think so. Nico, what do you think?
I think if the Mets do not sign Alonso, they can cancel Christmas. There's no chance. They're going against all the karma, the gods of the game. Alonso is the Mets, and if you're going to give $700 million to an outsider and not the inside homegrown talent that you guys have developed and the fans have cultivated the love and the passion for, you have no idea of running a baseball team, and just go ahead and sell the team now.
We know that's not going to happen, but I agree with you. I mean, this is one of those things where it's kind of like the Mets have said, Juan, you have an open checkbook. Pete, you're coming back on our terms. It's like it's not fair. It's really not the way, and this is just dragging on and really is holding up the rest of the team and probably some other players in the league. We brought up Alex Bregman. Um, I think Anthony Santander is kind of going to have to
Mm-hmm.
wait his turn because once Pete and or Bregman are gone, then he's probably the next guy, right, Nico? Next offensive
That's
guy.
right, and the Yankees probably going to just jump on him right away.
Well, they could have
On
jumped
who?
on him already. I mean,
On who? Santander?
yeah.
No, it does. It doesn't seem like that's the direction that they want to go. I mean, okay, they added Max Fried, which I
Yeah,
thought
we'll
was a
get to that in a
really.
minute. We'll get to that in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
minute. We're just doing
No, no,
offense
I'm
first.
just,
Yeah.
no, no, I know, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, in terms of their response to Soto, they added pitching, and they added Goldschmidt as a 1-year Band-Aid, at first base. They didn't want to invest big long money. So yeah, you would think that they're gonna go for an outfielder. I mean, I haven't heard anything about them going after Bregman because I think the association with the Astros is something that sort of you know disturbs their palate. But it sounds like they want to make a trade more than they want to go out and sign another free agent.
Okay. Uh, I could see that. After that, uh, surprisingly, nobody has jumped on Jurickson Profar after the year he had. Um, Maybe he's only going to get a short-term deal. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's going
I
to go
think
back
he's
to the
going
Padres.
to. Yeah, I agree. That's where he's had his most success. He had a career year last year. I know because I have him in my Stratomatic Baseball League, Russ. Um,
Oh, sure. We're all waiting to hear about that, Mike, with bated
yeah,
breath.
well, I'm sure they are. They two-time champion. No, or two years in a row.
Oh my
But
God.
no, I mean but he's had his most success in San Diego. Now they may be playing, and remember he they got him back after he went someplace else. So I mean I think they're sort of playing a little bit of a game with him. Maybe they don't want to pay him top dollar, but I think eventually he ends up back in San Diego.
Okay. The Giants are playing a weird game because, like, they lose Blake Snell to the Dodgers, who, again, once they get Sasaki, they have the best pitching staff in baseball. It's not even arguable. Uh, Especially since, you know,
Well,
th-
okay.
they're all, they're already set really, and they're gonna just add Sasaki.
Yeah, okay. They had Sasaki. Gonsolin's coming back off of Tommy
Right.
John. Dustin May's coming back off of Tommy John. I think Kershaw is coming back.
No, Kershaw's
No,
not
he's
signed
not.
yet. But he did sign last February, so
Late.
it's possible he could re-sign.
On top
And
of
Otani's supposed to pitch too, right? So
and Otani's going to pitch. It's like,
they're gonna
I
probably
mean,
trade a pitcher. They're probably gonna trade like Gonsolin or May. They're one of those guys will probably get traded.
Maybe. I mean,
That's
you can't
that's the
have
way I see it.
you can't have 8 starters, but the way they
No,
drop like flies, they may want to keep all of them.
I mean they might. I mean they could do that. So Nico, what's your take with the Giants? Maybe they'll sign Jack Flaherty, just because Adamas was a good sign, but it just seemed like they were trying to keep up with the Joneses, and I guess they'll do that again with the starting staff. It seems.
Yeah, the Giants need help. Flaherty would be great for the Dodgers to keep him. That would be ideal. Flaherty was the spark
But
plug
then he'd be like
that
the
got the
ninth
Dodgers.
pitcher. What do you want to have? Two teams
No,
of
no, no. He
pitchers?
was the starting pitcher in the World Series. He would be the starting pitcher in my mind. Coming back day one, he's my bulldog, and he was a
So who's he? All
difference
right. So
maker.
hold on. Who's he replacing? There, we just
I
said
don't
there's Yamamoto,
listen.
probably
The same person
Sasaki,
he replaced as the first
Otani.
person who took that ball for the World Series.
Oh
There
my
was
God. There's
one
no room
pitcher.
for him. He's
There
not
was
coming
one
back.
pitcher on game one, and they gave that ball to him. And the reason why he got that ball on game one is because of his bulldog mentality. He came into the Dodgers, and without Flaherty, the Dodgers would not have a World Series. He came
When
in with
when
the mentality that
Okay.
he's going to take
when
this World Series with him.
when they hold the next World Baseball Classic, all they have to do for Team Japan is fly to LA and then fly to the
Yeah.
destination of the World Baseball Classic. Now, I think there's a possibility Sasaki goes to San Diego, but
I
or
think it's such a
Seattle.
small chance. Small chance.
Or Seattle, but more than likely he's going to the Dodgers. And like I think right now they have 7 or 8 starters, but like I said, they've had so many injuries that they may put some of these guys. I mean, because they have a bottomless pit in terms of salary, so they could store a couple Cy Young candidates in the bullpen for crying out loud.
I guess. I mean, we'll see. That'll be interesting. So, sticking with pitching, Mike, I thought Freed was a great signing for the Yankees. He does
Hmm.
have occasional injuries. He does, and I know
Hmm.
that because I've had him on my fantasy team. But overall, what they got him for, I think, is worth it.
Yeah, no, I think it was an excellent ad, and you add him to, Rodon, and you add him to Cole.
Well, you're adding
I
him to Cole. Rodon still stinks in my book. He's not good.
but well,
Cortez.
Cortez is gone.
He's gone
They they
Oh, what
traded him
happened?
for
Just yeah, that was a bad move. Then why would you get rid of him?
because he was a gimmick. He threw 50 miles an hour.
no, I mean
But he
because
got wins.
you got okay. Rodon is a higher level version of Nestor Cortez in the sense that he can throw 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's a lefty, but he's more of an innings eater, third, fourth starter, and
I mean, he did finally
unfortunately.
have a good year. I'll say that, but it took him a
Yeah,
while.
and I don't think Cortez could come back after, and he should have never been put into that game. But after giving up that home run, in the World Series,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think he was dead man walking. But they did get a closer out of it in terms of the deal that they made with Milwaukee. But I mean, and I was to say you add that to Clark Schmidt and Luis Heel. I mean, they have a deep well in terms of their starting rotation. The bullpen now that
Yeah,
Clay
who's their
Holmes is
closer?
left, the guy they got from Milwaukee,
Yeah, it's not a
Devin.
great closer. Yeah,
No, I mean he's a pretty good closer. I mean,
pretty good. This is the
I
Yankees,
mean
so pretty
he's
good.
not
How far is that going to get you?
he's not Goose Gossage, but he's better than Clay Holmes. And
Well,
plus,
Goose Gossage
uh,
is like 80, so I don't think he's worth
you
bringing up.
know you know what I'm saying. And
I know.
I'm drawing a blank on the kid that they used in the playoffs, but he pitched really well. So I mean I think it's going to be a
So does
combination of.
losing Holmes to the Mets hurt them? It seems like it does.
No, because I mean he had the most blown saves
I
in
know.
baseball last year. So and I mean I'm a little questioning about whether he can convert to a starter. I think
Oh, I
eventually he's gonna.
question it all day long. I question it. I mean, I'm with you
Yeah,
on that.
but I think that now the talk is that Marcus Stroman is going to be used as trade bait to get an outfielder.
Who
I
wants
mean that
him? Nobody wants Stroman.
a lot of teams want an innings eating starting
Oh
pitcher
boy.
who's making the kind of, and the money that he's making is not expensive.
Yeah,
So
except he's a clubhouse cancer.
Well, he's a clubhouse cancer in New York because he's an ass. That's why he's locker room poison. And I didn't like the signing from the very beginning. But there are teams out there like the Cubs, so a few years ago, signed him. They loved him until he had some injury problems. So I mean, there's so many. If there are teams out there that are going to give, and this is going back a ways, before he had his problems that kept him out of baseball, Trevor Bauer is the biggest asshole in the league, but he won a Cy Young, so people gave him chances and people gave him money. So Marcus Stroman will get another opportunity
He
somewhere.
will, in a sense that he throws innings, but like every year he becomes a little less useful.
Right. I mean, he's not an ace. He's probably a number 3 or number 4, but
The
teams
Angels
out
could
there.
use him.
He's 33 years old. Who could
Mhm.
use him?
The Angels.
The Angels have been picking up. The Angels, like, they've just been picking up random players. So he would just be another random player. Like, the Angels aren't going to do anything, Nico. Come on.
No, but I
Yeah,
mean, that would be a good fit for him. We got
the,
Washington over there. You got EY over there. You got some good coaches to help
He can go
cultivate
visit
him.
Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and pitch every fourth day. That'd be
the
great.
the the
Well,
the Angels signed Don Drysdale. He's been dead for 30 years.
no, I'm just saying the Angels need help and they need arms, and he would be a good compliment.
Okay.
And the Yankees don't need him, and he needs to play somewhere. So, the Angels will be a good fit.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I mean, the Angels need Mike Trout to be healthy too, but I'm not sure that's happening. But
No.
I'd like to see Mike Trout healthy, but who knows? Um, Another interesting team, the Texas Rangers. I'm not sure what they're going to do uh, with their starting staff. Like it's still undetermined. So there's still some things out there they can do. Are they even like a big contender anymore, Nico?
Yes, they absolutely are. When you got a team rallying around Aldoris Garcia, you've got the shortstop Hall of Famer,
Corey
you
Seager.
Corey
Corey
Seager.
Seager, yeah.
Yeah, and you still got Scherzer as a leading veteran pitcher. He's going to go out there and just
He's
throw with his heart out there.
40 some odd years old. Yeah.
But it's the experience. He knows how to get outs. He's going to use his knowledge now. You start to rely on your knowledge, your experience, and those veterans are crafty.
I mean,
So yeah, they're going to be
Is
very
DeGrom
competitive.
going to pitch 20 games for them this year?
Yes, yes. So
He
it's going to
will.
be fun to see DeGrom healthy
Okay.
again. They've got a
I
great
mean, he was
young
good in a
catcher.
couple starts last year, but I hope the guy can pitch. But that's probably their whole season right there. If DeGrom and Scherzer can do something, I think they could be good. If they don't, I don't see how they're going to do anything.
That part.
Yeah, I mean, because they had some disappointing years uh, for some of their players, especially their young players, and that's the thing. They've been buying free agents for years, but they're not producing enough young talent. And
Yeah, their catcher Haim took a step back. Their third baseman Jung took a step back. I mean, yeah, there's talent there, and they could bounce back. I'm skeptical of the pitching because Degrom is what has he been out most of the last 2 years, and Scherzer is 68 years old. I mean, I don't I am a little skeptical
I mean,
of
Evan
them.
Carter took a huge step back. I mean, everybody was high on Evan Carter. He had 5 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, so you know it's possible that they can rebound, but I mean, I have to see it. I mean, I at this point, I would not predict them to be a playoff team, but they do have the talent that, and Seager could have another MVP type of year that they could challenge.
So, Nico, what do you think of the Orioles? I still think they're a really good team, a dangerous team. What do you think of the Orioles? They got
Well,
Burns.
without
Well, they didn't get Burns. They lost Burns. Sorry.
yeah, without Burness, without Santander, they're nothing. So I
Well, they're
love
not
their young
without
They're
shortstop.
Santander yet.
nothing.
I don't think they're nothing.
Yeah, I
Well, no,
mean,
they have to sign him. They have to re-sign him, give him some money so that they can keep their team competitive. Because that he is a
They're
hard.
keeping them competitive. They signed Tyler O'Neill, right, Mike? We need a good year
there
out
you
of
go.
Tyler O'Neill out of our fantasy team.
No,
Sure.
Tyler
Yeah,
is not O'Neill. It's not the answer. Santana's the answer. The shortstop is one of the greatest phenoms in the league that the league has seen at shortstop
Yeah,
since maybe Cal Ripken or something like that.
since
So
Cal
they've
Ripken.
got a nice
Wow.
heart.
y-
They've got
yeah,
a
but
nice heart of a team.
yeah, but I mean, they thought that last year, and then he ended up back in AAA and had a good year. But Jackson Holiday will probably make the
Yeah, he'll have a
make the
good
make
year.
the yeah, he'll but and you've got Gunnar Henderson, and you've got
Yeah.
I mean they've got a bevy of young talent. Now I question the fortitude of their ownership if they don't. They've let Burns go. I know they have a lot of young pitchers coming, so maybe they think they can get away with letting Burns go, but their pitching failed down the stretch, and that's what cost them. The Yankees slumped in the middle of the year. They could have had a chance to win that division, and they didn't. um there may be some bargains out there that they can sign in February before spring training, but I think they have to get Santander back, and if they don't, then I don't think Tyler O'Neill is a capable replacement for a guy who had the year that Santander
And
had.
why is he on our fantasy team, Mike? I have to ask you that question.
Because some idiot traded for him. That's
Oh,
why.
okay. All right. I don't know who that is. So we move on. So we did mention Burns' name, and he is now on Arizona. Arizona's still a really good team, Nico. Like this team, their pitching got better. Maybe they're hitting a little worse. They lost their first baseman, Christian Walker. But what do you think about Arizona? I think they're still going to be competitive, and they have a
They
chance.
they are. They still got the speedster Carroll, and they've got
Yeah,
Marte. Marte's proven one of the
yeah,
greatest hitters and offensive performers here in the league.
yeah.
Losing Walker is going to hurt them. They definitely need a big bat. They need a big bat, a big slugger, an RBI guy, a home run guy, an anchor in that lineup, and that's
Sounds
what they don't have, and that's
like
what they
Pete
just
Alonso,
lost.
but I guess they're not gonna. I guess they're not gonna make Alonso an offer, but they could use him. That's for sure.
That would be a fit.
Maybe they trade for Nolan Arenado.
Who's also 100, but I guess he would help. He still could field, but his Arenado's hitting has gone down every year the last couple of years. I mean, I'm not expecting him to have a resurgence. What about the
No,
Royals? They bring back Michael Wacha, who seemingly couldn't pitch anymore when he was on the Mets, and he's been good for them. Like the Royals, Nico, seem like they could be a team that competes this year.
They can. With the shortstop they have, absolutely an MVP player. He goes in every single day in and day out, and grinds it. And he's, his defensive abilities as well as his offensive abilities. He's a leader on that team, and they're going to be right in it to the very end again.
Russ, the funny thing is the only place that Michael Wacha has not pitched well is the Mets. He pitched well for Boston. He pitched well for Kansas City, San Diego, and early in his career, St. Louis. The only place he pitched terribly was in New York. So he must have been the National League, the Mets version of Ed Whitson.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny because I was in St. Lucie. I watched him. I was 3 feet from him, watching him warm up. He looked like he had good snap on his fastball, and then yeah, he couldn't pitch. I mean, look, Nico, Bobby Witt Jr. I don't know, 32 homers, 109 RBIs, 332. He's kind of overrated. No, I'm kidding. That's a great year. 211 hits. My God, nobody does that
He
anymore.
reminds me of myself a little bit.
Oh
How
God.
so? When did you have 211 hits? Please remind me.
They're both
You know what? If
humans.
they would have gave me 211 at bats, I would have had 211 hits, Russ. You know that. Come on.
Well, the 31
You helped me
steals.
write
I think you could
the
have done the
book.
31 steals. I give you that. You're
Yeah,
a good.
yeah, I could have done the steals.
You're a good
And,
stolen base guy.
and it's a good segue to the book. We're going on to the anniversary now of Strike Three. What a great time to talk about it, too, because I'm really focused on this year, really selling 1 million copies and just promoting humanity and donating as much proceeds that I possibly can for humanity in some of our trying times right now.
Mm.
And what a great sport, what a great game of baseball to segue into humanity and peace. If we could use baseball to bring the world together, that's what we're all about.
Sure, it's a very nice sentiment, and if there are some sales that come from this, we'll donate a portion somewhere. Um, but moving on back to Kansas City, yeah, I look at their lineup, and I do think there's a chance for them. I don't know if they have enough pitching though. I mean, Seth Lugo is really good. Obviously, I've beaten that to death how much I like him, but I don't know. They have 2 pitchers, maybe 3 on that starting staff. That's my issue with Kansas City.
Yeah, but the thing is, Russ, that might be enough to win that division. I
True.
mean, because I think Minnesota is falling apart.
Don't forget about the
Uh,
Tigers.
I was gonna say to the Tigers are the
Yeah,
the
Tigers are
one
good. I know the Tigers are good now. They are.
and
They're for
uh,
real.
and they added Gleyber Torres, who if he does what he did a couple years ago at the Yankees is a good ad. But it just seems that every time Detroit adds somebody outside that organization, like the former Cub who went to the Mets and then signed with them. I'm drawing a blank,
Oh,
but
yeah, the shortstop. Yep.
yes. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he hit he hit below the Mendoza line for them. That didn't work out, but when they bring up players internally, it seems to work out a lot better. That
Yeah,
rally
Javi
that they had,
Baez, the
Javi Baez, thank you. I
one of
was
the
drawing a
great
blank.
athletic talents in the league and head case, and you know
Yeah,
makes a
yeah,
great play one moment, throws the ball away the next. He's baffling.
yeah. The Tony
But
D'Angelo of baseball.
that's a good analogy, Mike. Yeah, but the Tigers are for real. I mean, they have one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in baseball, and you know they're a big deal. I
And
mean,
what
I'm looking
and Parker
18-4.
Meadows. I
Tariq
want to like a
Skubal, hold on, no. Tariq
okay.
Skubal was 18-4, man. Like Mike, when we went to go see the Tigers, they didn't have 18 wins for the whole staff.
No, no, that offensive bevy that we saw. I think it was 1-0, and I think there was 4 hits in the game. 3 hits
Yeah,
for one team, one for the other.
Otani got a double. That was the big thrill of that game.
Yeah, yeah, great, wonderful. I'm glad I drove 5 hours to see that. I'll
I mean,
just say
Parker
this.
Meadows played. He actually played in that game. He hasn't played much since, but
No,
he
Yeah,
did
that's
get
the guy
hurt
I'm talking about. That guy's a young phenom. So the Tigers
Yeah, if he
got a
could ever
young
stay
phenom.
healthy.
Yeah, I think this is his year. This is his year. The Tigers
Well,
are
he's
going to cultivate it.
25. He's not a phenom anymore. He's getting closer to your age now.
Well, he's going to lead the Tigers. They'll win their division, and they're going to be right there for a run for this World Series too, and try
I
to
think
break the curse.
I think the underreported story of the fall and the winter in baseball is the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays cannot give away money. They've been in the bidding for every free agent, and no one will sign there. Bregman, Soto, and now they've been told, basically that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Well, we'll talk about an extension, after the year.
He's not
Um,
going back to the Blue Jays. The Mets
no,
have apparently have designs on him.
I mean,
That's what I
well,
hear.
I mean, if they trade for him, but he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna be a free agent until next year, and
No,
I'm
next
sure.
year they're not going to trade for him this year. They're going to wait for him to be a free agent.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll be another battle between the Yankees and the Mets because the
Yep.
Yankees that's the reason they signed Goldschmidt for years because I think they wanted the first base clear for Guerrero, and
Goldschmidt, the 21st century Jim Spencer.
Didn't Guerrero say he'd never play for the Yankees?
no, I've never
No, I
heard
never
that.
heard that.
No, that was
Okay.
Ken Griffey Jr.
I think
That
Yeah.
was Ken.
Guerrero had some type
Well,
of
Kevin Griffey
spite
Jr. for good
just because
reason.
of that.
Yeah,
Because of that,
For-
I think he held something about the Yankees because he heard something about the story.
No, listen, Ken Griffey Jr. for good reason. I
yeah,
mean, he was
Oh
not
no,
allowed
it was
in
in
the
the dugout.
Yankee.
It's
Right.
when he was a kid. He was in the dugout with his
right,
father,
Right.
and the way he was
right,
treated as a kid when he was his
Right.
yeah,
visit to Yankee
But
Stadium.
Greg
So
Nettles
he's
kid was allowed to take ground balls at third base. So yeah, there was an
yes,
issue there.
yes, and
I
he
know.
holds
I know.
he does not forget.
No.
yeah.
No.
Because Greg Nettles won 2 World Series for them, and Ken Griffey didn't. That's probably why.
Well, it's not fair. But anyhow,
He's a
last
player.
No, it's not.
question. Last question. We're going to go round table on this just once around.
Mhm.
There's all these unwritten rules in baseball. I'm going to pull out 3. Tell me which one you would do. And Nikco, you're going to go last since you actually played Major League Baseball. But which one would you do and why? So the 3 choices are: you're not supposed to bunt to break up a no-hitter. You're not supposed to swing on a 3-0 count when your team's ahead. And you're not supposed to steal bases when your team is ahead by a lot of runs. So, Mike, if you had a choice of one of those and you were in a situation to do it, which one would you do and why?
Well, I would not do the bunt with a no hitter because that's the scum. Um, I probably what was it? It was 3-0 when you're
Swing on the
ahead.
3-0 or steal bases when you're teams ahead by a lot?
I'd swing 3-0 because stealing bases when you're ahead, even though that's sort of changed now because you can never be too far ahead with the way pitching is in this league. I would swing an 0 when we're leading because I think that's the least offensive of the three.
Okay. I would bunt to break up the no hitter. Screw being called scum. I don't care. I'm not letting you no hit my team. And when I get that bunt base hit, my teammates cheer me. And
So,
and if a
so,
fight ensues, so be it.
so the next time that you're up, I hope the pitcher does what Mike Torres did to Dickie Thon.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm still doing it every time. Nikco, which one would you
Yes,
do?
Russ, with that mentality, Russ, you would have been a great major leaguer. You would have been a great teammate because that's how you play this game. When that pitcher is throwing a no hitter, scums win the game, Mike. You
That's
got to
right.
scum it. You got to grit it. You got to grind it. You got to get on that base
That's right.
by any means necessary.
Good. I hope. Well, never mind.
And I still do that on the softball field. Yippee. All right,
Dick.
that's it.
What a great show.
That's it for the game. We'll catch everybody next time.
My man.
Richard.